here with your gamer goggles, gamer-goggles.com. Today we have another flip through. Thanks for the requests, guys. It's very encouraging that you guys want to see more flip throughs. Today we're going to talk about Pathfinders Adventurer's Guide. Now, before we dive in too far, this book is a little bit different than other books in the way it's laid out, and for that reason, we're not going to do what I would call or consider a traditional flip through. We're going to take an in-depth look at one of the affiliations. So the Adventurer's Guide is basically a dictionary or a guidebook. Yes, we're going to call it a guidebook, something like you would get from AAA, but in this case it's for the different associations that are found within Galaria, or in this case 18 of them. And like I said, we're going to go through and we're going to hit on just one to give you an in-depth idea of what they did with each one, because they pretty much follow the same format. So we have, I'm gonna butcher some of these names. Let me zoom in just a little bit. So we have Alzabriti, Eldori Swordlords, the Aspis Consortium, Bellflower Network, Council of Thieves, Cipher Mages, Eagle Knights, Grey Maidens, and the Hell Knights, which is actually where we're going to take our look at. But on top of that, we have the Houses of Perfection, Lantern Bearers, Magambaya. Somebody can correct me on that, please. Mammoth Lords. Of course, we have the Pathfinder Society, Red Mantis, Ryvthune, Silver Ravens, Storm Kindlers, and then the rules indexes, or indices. And, you know, like with every book, you've got the real quick description on how to use the book, book references, their abbreviations, and things of that nature. It tells you, one thing to note, I should note here, is for the PCs, there's affiliations for the PCs and how it works. And we'll get into that in a minute or two, I hope. If I don't, maybe somebody will say, hey Matt, you forgot this. And then you have, we'll zoom in for you a little bit so you can see that a little bit better. You have like feat additional affiliations and things of that nature. And it talks about the affiliations for adventuring parties, NPCs, and rivals. It's interesting. And then each group basically has a prestige class. So, of course, since we're talking about the Inner Sea region, they give you a map of the Inner Sea, and then you start jumping right in, and as you can see, you have like a little description, kind of like you would have for cities, background description, some of the major players. But like I said, we're going to just jump right in, and we're going to go all the way over to the Hell Knights. I've chose the Hell Knights because they're relatively popular, right? And a lot of people probably have a good idea about some of their background and their fluff. So immediately you get to, like, I'm going to call this the postcard of the Hell Knights, and you see that they have their merciless enforcers, their scope, where their region, their basic alignment, where their like headquarters. Obviously you can tell right away that they have different orders, values, the goals, who their allies are, what other affiliations are their allies, enemies, and rivals obviously varies by order, and then it goes into a brief background, and then of course you have some of the, we'll call them the iconic characters of the Hell Knights for now. That might not be their official title, and then you break it down, they break it down a little bit further, give the Hell Knights a little bit more flavor, we'll say, and we have a Hell Knight Prestige class. This first one, it has the requirements here of any lawful alignment, an armor proficiency with heavy armor, base attack bonus of +5. Not too difficult to get to, right? And then on the next page, here's what they give the Hell Knight Prestige class at first level: Aura of Law, Detect Chaos, Smite Chaos, oh my gosh, Smile. I think maybe it's time to get my eyes checked. Discern Lies, Hell Knight Armor, which we'll take a look at Hell Knight Armor. Let's see, where is it? Disciplines. Helm Knight armor. Yeah, my camera's in a weird place right now. At second level, a Helm Knight earns the right to wear Helm Knight plate. See page 97, which we'll get there in a couple pages, which does not reduce his speed while wearing the armor. The Helm Knight reduces the armor check penalty by 1 and increases the maximum dexterity bonus by 1. At 5th level, these adjustments increase to 2, and at 8th level, they increase to 3. Pretty cool, I think. And then there's another Helm Knight prestige class, and this is the Signifier. These are the spellcasters. And then they have some archetypes. They have the Armiger archetype. They have a little thing here on joining the Helm Knights as to why a fighter might want to join the Helm Knights. They also have a Devil Binder Unchained, which is a summoner archetype. They talk about some of the fluff here with the test. To become a Helm Knight, an Armiger must pass the test. Oh, to give you an idea of what they look like. And then every group has some equipment. So we have branding iron, we have the Helm Knight barding, we have the Helm Knight half plate, gives you the weight and everything, just like a regular item would. Helm Knight leather. Let's see, 97 is the Helm Knight plate. Distinctive suit of armor, which is a special type of masterwork that can only be worn basically by somebody of the Helm Knight prestige class. Functions the same as masterwork armor, but of course, I mean, what good would it be if hey, wait a minute, if each association didn't have some of their own magic items, right? So this is a way to really step out of what you're doing. Here's actually one of my favorite pictures in the whole book. I don't know why. And you know, the Helm Knights, they just, to me, they look dark and menacing, so they don't look, you know, like defenders of law to me from the outside in, and that's one of the reasons why I think I like them. But there, like I said, there's various different types of magic items. And then, of course, let's see, with some of the other groups, there's, I believe, let's see, I guess I picked a bad one because I didn't notice any of the feats. So let's see here. So, real quick, we'll just go to like the Aldori Sword Lords. So you have this here, and then there's the Prestige class again, archetype, equipment. Aha! So that the Sword Lords don't have as much equipment as the Helm Knights do, but immediately they come off and they have feats that are suited for their association. The only other thing to look at really is in the back. There are some new spells in the book. I'm not going to delve too much into them. I just wanted to give you an idea of how they broke down the different groups. I'm going to cheat and use the table of contents, 186. The indices. I always said indexes. Maybe I'm a silly guy. Start on page 186, and it gives you a breakdown. Basically, it's of where everything's at within the book, short overviews on all the new feats and things of that nature. So, with that being said, what do I think about the Pathfinder Adventurers Guild? There is a lot of fluff and background in this book. If you are a Pathfinder fiction fan, you're going to love this book. If you like to play within these associations, or if you're a GM and you just want to, I mean, there's enough in this book that you can use this as a supplement to, like, I want to say Curse of the Crimson Throne, but I can't remember who was mentioned. And yeah, you probably can't because Graying Manus is in there, I believe. You can use this to supplement that and change your campaign up a little bit after you've played through it once or twice with your group, if your group likes to play through it. So you can add modifications. You can modify some of the major characters in there. It's a solid tool. Or, you know, if you're doing your own run-of-the-mill game at home where, you know, hey, like, I want to introduce these guys now because, you know, I need some new flavor and flair. There is a lot you can do with this book. It's a very in that sense, for putting more of the Pathfinder Inner Sea region into your game, this is an excellent tool. Now, if you're a player that wants to delve into one of these associations, one of these 18 associations, I think it's a must-have. So, thanks for watching, guys, and have a great day. See you at Gen Con.